up, my fight fans? So, UFC has just ended its final fight night of 2022. It was Jared Cannonier versus Sean Strickland. And it wasn't that bad of a fight, guys. It was very tactical, I guess you could say. You know, these guys weren't really brawling. These guys weren't really necessarily put on the biggest, greatest fight ever, but it was still a very good stylistic fight. You know, these guys threw some really good shots at each other. There was some really good rounds, especially that last round. You saw where Jared Cannonier pretty much opened Sean Strickland up. You know, I thought Sean Strickland was doing actually very, very well. But I do see that Jared Cannonier pretty much edged it out, which he did. He got the win. It was 3-2, Jared Cannonier. So yeah, would I call it one of the best fight nights? No, not necessarily, but still, nonetheless, it ended the year, and let's just say it was a very uneventful end of UFC 2022. You know, that with a really good with a really good year. This end of the year, you know, we already saw the pay-per-view with Jan Blachowicz and that whole draw scenario, and then of course the whole Paddy Pimblett situation. Now we got this fight, which was a really good fight. I really enjoyed it, but you know, of course, we would have hoped to have the year end with a bang, but nonetheless, still good nonetheless. So, with that being said, Jared Cannonier, what happens to him next? Well, you know, Jared Cannonier is actually still up there. You know, he's still up there. Since he's been in the middleweight division, if you guys remember or follow Jared Cannonier's career whatsoever, he has actually been in the multiple weight classes in the UFC. He fought at heavyweight, he fought at light heavyweight, and now he's at middleweight. And since being down at middleweight, he has wins over the likes of Jack Hermansson, Anderson Silva, David Branch, Kelvin Gastelum, Derek Brunson, and now Jared Cannonier. His only two losses in middleweight just happen to be the best middleweights out there, which are Israel Adesanya, the champ, and Robert Whittaker. So for his next move, obviously with this win over Sean Strickland, which is a very tough opponent. Sean Strickland's been around the game for quite a while, and you know I feel like he'll bounce back 100%. This is his second loss in a row. He did lose against Alex Pereira back in, I believe it was July, and you know it was an unfortunate loss. And now with this loss, it was a close loss. You know, so I feel like he will bounce back. But as far as Jared Cannonier goes, yeah, I do. Right now, the middleweight's up for grabs. Like I mentioned a few names already for the middleweights, and unfortunately, I don't see him getting a title shot right after this. Even though he did get Israel Adesanya to a decision, but it was a very one-sided decision. Israel Adesanya pretty much just had his way with him, did whatever he needed to do. It wasn't a very entertaining fight. We talked about that over and over. But still, nonetheless, I don't feel like it should. This was like a title contention fight. Possibly one more I would see for Jared Cannonier. And right now they already booked a couple of fights. They booked a Marvin Vettori fight. Forgive me, I cannot remember that name that he is fighting, but he is booked for a fight night himself or possibly a Brazil card. I have to look more details on that one. And then we know that in Perth, Australia, I think I want to say UFC 284, you have, which has not been 100% official because there's a lot of rumors going around with this Paulo Costa Robert Whittaker fight that is supposed to be on that card. You know, I hear Paulo Costa, he might not be signing to this fight. I hear different talks and different scenarios going on within that fight night, and or not that fight night, that fight in general. So I could definitely see Jared possibly going after the loser because I feel like that one could be a possible title contention. You know, with Robert Whittaker. He's always just one fight away from becoming number one contender, and we already know the fight's already kind of aligned for Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira. There's just no question that those two are gonna match up again. So what we do with Jared, yeah, I would wait. Obviously, Jared, enjoy the rest of the year. Enjoy it. Takes a little time off, and wait for that fight with either Marvin Vettori or Robert Whittaker and Paulo Costa. You know, I would definitely love to see him against Paulo Costa. We already saw Jared Cannonier against Robert Whittaker, and you know Robert Whittaker already got that decision win over him. So it would be a fun fight for him to see against Paulo Costa. That would actually be a very fun one, or even Marvin Vettori. I don't believe them two have even met in in the middleweight division at all yet. So that would actually be a very fun fight as well. But yeah, there's still more entertaining things to see, more entertaining things to go forward with Jared Cannonier and such. So like I said, as far as Sean Strickland goes, he might need some time off. I do believe in middleweight or at the weigh-in, he mentioned about possibly going up to light heavyweight. Who knows? Maybe that could be a good fit for him as well. I think he even came from welterweight because I do believe he has a loss over Kamaru Usman. So that's yeah, maybe it could be just a weight cut thing. Maybe it's just it's too much for his body, and he's not you know bouncing back from that weight cut as good as he used to because he was looking good for a while. He has some notable wins himself, and so yeah, maybe a good time for him to go up to middleweight. And I mean, excuse me, light heavyweight. And with light heavyweight being wide open right now, with Yuri Prochazka out, and you already got the light heavyweight title going on next month with Jamal and Glover Teixeira. Yeah, you got Ankalaev out. You got Anthony Smith waiting for a possible opponent, so that could be a potential matchup right there. You never know. Um, of course, you got Blachowicz. He's already just recently fought. Like I mentioned, Ankalaev. He's doing his thing. You got Paul Craig. So you got a few names up there. And it could be interesting. It could bring some excitement to that class because Sean Strickland he's kind of like must see TV. Of course, what he says is very controversial. We already know that, but he does bring some excitement and some fun to the press conferences and such when he fights his opponents. So definitely, I do look forward to seeing him fight again. I'm sure he will be back, so definitely. But as far as Jared Cannonier goes, one more fight, and I can see him possibly get another championship down the line. Another possible title shot, one more at least because he is up there. He is 38. He's not getting any younger. I'm sure by next year he's going to be 39, and we already know this is young man's game. So, yeah, one more, and my vote would probably be either Marvin Vettori or Paulo Costa. One of them, if whether one of them win their fight or lose their fight, I would love to see Jared Cannonier mix it up with one of those guys. Robert Whittaker, not so much. I do feel like Robert Whittaker, win, lose, or draw, or if he loses, it's unfortunate. But if he just so happens to win against Paulo Costa up in Perth, then yeah, he should definitely get another title shot, another crack, if he wants it, because we already talked about that. This is going to be a second title shot already with Izzy. We don't know what's going to happen there. We don't even know when that fight is going to be booked. So there's a lot of questions going up in the middleweight division. But great fight night, guys. It was the end of the UFC. What a year we had in 2022. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments about this year. Let me know what you think about this fight with Jared Cannonier and Sean Strickland. Just let me know what you're thinking about what's going to be next for both these guys and what's going to happen in the middleweight division. Let me know in the comments, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.